have spent the whole day today not doing much. I don't know what will happen tomorrow. But I'll put the question. If I put the question as you have requested, I'm trying to look at your numbers. Because sometimes I have to save you from embarrassment. I have to look at your numbers and look at their numbers to see whether you are likely to win or lose. You have to adopt the business statement. I have to put the question to adopt. Yes, go on. We should check the rules.
The Speaker.
Yes.
The Speaker, the business committee report has been submitted, and issues have been raised. Some issues have been raised. Some of them legitimate with respect to the time available to the House for doing justice to some of these matters. On the other hand, Mr. Speaker, the matter being raised by the majority leader is also legitimate in the sense that if a paper is to be presented to the House and a decision is taken that no, will not allow you to introduce the paper to the House, it means that technically you are saying that you don't allow government business to come to the House. And that will be a dangerous precedent. I mean, technically. Also, for the Speaker, you're giving a very useful guidance as to going forward, what should be done. The Speaker, it is useful. However, we must also be careful. Is it the case that a Speaker would say that I will allow this government business, I will not allow this government business? So even though I see a lot of sense in what the Speaker is doing, we must also look at the technical implications. I think that we have these matters before us. Admittedly, it's not everything that we can deal with. So we adopt the report and we consider those matters that have come before us. We get to first reading is just rising and bowing, but we can't transact business on it. Like the second reading and so on and so forth. Because when you do the first reading, you now have to refer the matter to the appropriate committee to go and consider and report to the House. Do we have the luxury of time? We may not have that luxury of time, which then goes to what direction the Speaker is giving us. That let's look at all these implications. So we become very pragmatic in the consideration of these matters. So I'm saying that time certainly will not allow us to deal with all these before us. I agree. But when it is advertised for a paper to be presented and the indication is that no, we will not allow this paper to be presented, that also has its own connotation, which in my view will not be good for the image of the House. But we must be pragmatic. What can we deal with? What can we not deal with? The Speaker has offered some suggestions. Going forward, we look at what to do, what we can do, and what we cannot do. As simple as that. Which is why the leader is saying that, okay, let's adopt the report. However, we must take into consideration the various suggestions that come from the floor, that have come from the floor. Then we move on. So that is my consideration of the matter.
Yes, Honorable Ayariga.
Speaker, Mr. Speaker, it is already known to us in this House that this meeting took place without the participation of our leader. That became obvious when Honorable Ahmed took the floor. He indicated that our side did not participate because they were misled regarding the timing of the meeting. This is a very serious matter. And you have given further guidance. Indeed, I think that the proper thing to do is to adjourn and direct them to go and meet again tomorrow morning. Both sides agree on a common agenda and bring back to us. Because we will not approve an agenda that is entirely orchestrated by one side. Mr. Speaker, it is obvious. He did not dispute the fact that Honorable Atto did not participate in the meeting. He did not also refute the fact that Honorable Atto asked for clarity in relation to exactly what should constitute the agenda. So clearly, this is not an agenda that was agreed upon by both sides. So he misled us, and so this House is being cajoled into accepting something that one side did not participate in deciding on. So, Mr. Speaker, I think that the best thing to do is to adjourn, direct them to go tomorrow morning, meet, and then agree on something and bring to us, informed by the debates that have taken place today, the discussions that have taken place today, and your own advice. And I heard you, Mr. Speaker, indicate that even you were not aware of the entirety of what will constitute the program. And that is why you recommended that we should stick to certain items that you think are more practical. And indeed, the great leader is agreeing that we must be very practical, that we cannot deal with this tall list of items that the majority leader is trying to impose upon us. So I urge you to adjourn and refer the matter back to the business committee, let them meet tomorrow morning, and let them bring us a practical, acceptable, realistic agenda. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, even though I allow you for purposes of education and creating public awareness as to how we do our business, so sometimes I allow these exchanges. It's important for us to note that the speakers listen to both sides of the House. And the information at the disposal of the speaker also includes the technical staff, because the clerk is the principal advisor to the speaker on practice and procedure of the House. Apart from that, there are other authorities that get in touch with the speaker. And so I use that to advise. But when a business item is admitted by the speaker, and it is passed on and processed for the consideration of the business committee, and is scheduled for the attention of the House, that item cannot just be prevented from being presented, because it's not yet before the House. It's when it's presented that becomes the property of the House. And the House now will take time to go into it, bring a report for deliberation. It's at the time of taking the decision that the House could reject or approve it or adopt the report. When I talked about the adoption of the business committee report, I did that because I'm aware that when I say it's so adopted, a member could challenge this, to use the general word, ruling. And that meant that we have to put it to a vote. And so in doing these things, that's why I was drawing your attention to the fact that I have to look at the numbers on the floor, on both sides of the House. And sometimes, as Speaker, when you think that this matter is in the interest of the nation, and you want it to go through, but you see that if you put the question, it's likely to be rejected because those against it are more than those for it, then you apply the other rules. And so sometimes I'm drawing your attention to the fact that yes, you are majority leader, you are in charge of government business, but don't imperil government business. And more so, having sat on that chair for many years, I'm aware always as a leader, you have to go back because you need the support of those in the opposition to be able to carry on government business. And so if you recall, you are not too old in the House, but at least you are not also young. There are a number of times even allowed during my tenure, the opposition members to lead the business. to carry it through. It's very, very important. It's not for the individual's glory or party glory, but the national interest. So please, I will hesitate to refer it back to the business committee to reconsider. I thought the guidance had been given, and I was proceeding because all the important items have been stated, telling the table office to put across in the order paper for tomorrow's consideration. But if you, as leader of government business, insist that we should see carry on with all, well, it's for you. Because I didn't only talk about even the challenge of time, I also talk about the season. And I'm aware that a number of your own members will not be showing up. I'm very sure about that. You can contest me on it, but I'm very sure they will not be showing up for the business of the House. Anyway, you have the last.
Mr. Speaker, the business committee meeting wasn't a one-sided meeting. Members of the NDC minority were part of the meeting, for the records. I have not misled the House into believing that the report was consensus. This report was consensus. We arrived at the items by consensus. 3, the time agreed was 10 a.m. and it is a clerk to the committee that advertised it on our platform. It was not my time of choosing where I hurriedly convened a meeting without my other colleagues. But I agree that when the meeting had closed and Dr. Forsen had come in, he had expressed his own views about some of the items, which views he expressed before you at the pre-sitting deliberations. So, Mr. Speaker, I wasn't saying anything different. My worry is about the precedents we are setting on this matter. That the matter contained in the proposal should come before us. If it comes and we deliberate and we take a decision, that at that point is before the House. But if, Mr. Speaker, at this stage, it's going to be a novel practice for the House to say that business committee meeting, because there's a disagreement, we are going to reject or take some out and amend. Mr. Speaker, as it pleases the House, you are to guide us, and I will yield to the suggestions that you want to put across. But I find it a novel practice. I find a novel practice. And again, and finally, the suggestion that some of these items are new are completely untrue. Mr. Speaker, these items have been pending for months and years, and my colleagues know. If we may not have our members, let's wait for that day. If our members don't come, I won't put it to a vote for me to lose a question. So, Mr. Speaker, let's get to the bridge and then we'll cross it. These are items that government want to pursue. If we get there and we don't have our 138, we'll step it down. But my colleagues should proceed to oppose it when the thing comes to a vote, rather than to prevent it from being discussed. That one, I disagree. And I want Hansa to capture him as such. Mr. Speaker, having made my point, the rest lies with you. Thank you.
Anyway, honorable members, if you look at the order paper, item 10 deals with presentation of papers, which meant that there are new matters to be presented to the House. So when you say there are no new matters, it's not wholly true. And I did draw your attention to the agreements dealing with the military on behalf of the government of Ghana and the French government. That one, I had no knowledge of it, and we just seen it. And so that's French business. And it's not only one. If you go through it, these are businesses to be presented. 10, A, B, C, D. They are businesses to be presented. So please, let's stop at this. But what happened at your business committee meeting is actually not under discussion here. I think we should leave it at that because I usually ask for better and better particulars. Yes, please, Deputy Minority Whip.
Mr. Speaker.
On TV as well as also on Power 97.9 FM, the hottest and the biggest conversation in Ghana inside politics. The edifice studio hour 37 at BBC Street, the heart of Accra, Usu, editor in all the 16 regions across the country, north, south, east, and west. Northern regional capital Tamale, Kesmi 107.1 FM, Bole in the Savannah region, President elect Nukrum, Bole, Nkiligi FM, WFM, Bokuya Source 100.1 FM, Zaps FM was Zebela and a Pusiga, Wimpan Sampa Wende FM, Yako Bono Region Time 90.9 FM on Soko Sansun and Suma FM, Nkra Nkwanta for regional capital Gosu and Ananum 92.5 FM, Yibo Remo Ewo Eduno FM Sankore, Omosu Ekwemo Cape Coast Central Regional Capital, Live FM. Asin Fusu, Omosu Ekwemo Ewo Rich FM, so Omo Ekwemo Dende Oha. Enye asemketu akura stations awudu nyina no ekurekuremu ewo ye bowura ye voter regional capital ho ye global 105.1 FM multi region 3 radio stations and fire live new asset 9.7 FM okete crashes aso na KFM opasa and a boom FM dollar mine krum governor of the father of West Africa large cadel tanko ni krum ye Jessica nusu boom FM ye bowura takrade ye sharp 106.9 FM Zema Elembele West and 100.3 FM London GFM Radio, Fire Life Radio, and United States of America, Virginia, po 68 FM, so Kwakusket, any timune ekuremo ewo America memo. Yeba abefoso internet, radio S was 3.1, UBAT obebia ewo multi TV DJ box no na eja on Facebook Live, Power 979, TVS was Ghana, Samsung on YouTube, S was broadcasting. Medi Mugabe Maase ubetimi afremi atam colleague bigger the capacity man, the man with the 900 million angels who don't disappoint. My angels don't disappoint. The Umobekabia Trudeau and the over the weekend and never be in the course so activities be in the course. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama it me echo some your nene who can hear mame first Lydia or Babetna Kunya so Yamame Lodina Mahama and Yabusunina echo some ye na saying and a summon echo so and the Speaker of Parliament Right Honorable Aban Babin or Sumi Afre and Rasabi Funina Momako Asetna I dare say NDC Afemono or more etna a minority and MP before etna a majority by just for some few days not just a power no maybe assassin I won't say nay afanyo markings why you dean or say crowd here I said or person speak and papa ho kran ko be pepa na so no nya no ne yehwehwe and our parliament the course nyina no ye de nyina so ebebrem ewo eyadwumadie so sanso ena ensema wodo a ekoso ewa santemante mo fertilizers wodo a amanfo akwa wia ya omodi akogu baabi MPP foi sama mbofoi enema omakwo wiade agu eye warehouse bi a NDC for national organizer Joseph Yamin any team omotimi akwako hu ya fertilizers thousands of bags of fertilizers ya omako hu ewo ho ni nyina no yebeyi bibia ma so hu ni ekoso ewo ho na de bibia so ama boko haye TVS was it and a Power 97.9 FM yebasisia. Very well, Mamakwa Babim Ediba TVS was at an power 97.9 FM. Nemom, my Sunday warning way Emma Unkufubi. Now, Umunina, Omo Enya said, you know, say, Abai Assassin, yet now Emma Nipakubi, any some phone, my gamon. We are now in charge. We have one power. Vituni eye dia yedin kunim enema saa ya no fo ye ni 26 enye no bi ne pese ye but yet now emomo ni sebesem nsefo me pese me address ni part 3 say ni part 3 no omo take no cool whatever they want to do they can do e jane shiwa wo de fa ne say ni open no na and the many hosts na doye ebedin komo ene ye nua Stuttgart NP elect Bekum West ono so beba ha oye sports journalist na ene waba be kan hu ebidi nkomo bebre na ene nkomo e wo pa ebidi hu nkomo enema akoso e wo Ghana ha no ebidi hu nkomo yes mamia for say eye holista we are acting chief executive officer ewo SIC State Insurance Company. And some fun within our office no, I want you to put a full stop. It started last week. And I will backdate a man for appointment. Ugu so appoint a man for directors anyone why. I want you to stop that nonsense as soon as possible. Yes. This is coming from the angels. I want you to stop that nonsense as soon as possible. And you want to appointment, Ediama will be as acting chief executive officer for SIC. The Atitiane say, Ake say, as antibedi to Nimpano, as antibedi to America, Nimre Trim, Akufado Nimre Trim, Ubia or Wabamu Mubiano, most certain prepare handing over notes. Kasi Land Cruiser na we are this warehouse na ade nyina no yeni nyina yeni baabi ade baabi amode be kobia yeni nyina de jato woni sa major na wo second in command e wo sa ye Brema camp wono 48 regiment tashi ho no sa soja ni no obeye steady yes we will play e wo tashi e wo benayiku ne nkunim die mu ya na wo di okobo ya cha de soldier say kwa wani you think we don't know you? We know you very well. And third, eye Owula Mangote. Yes. Owula Mangote. Obedi ula no moboko. You send me series of messages and I have responded without insult, without anything. But I'm not interested. That is all. I'm not interested in those messages because me here find your way. And you Owula Mangote won't metra a year ufrido wa sha usuduku. You buried your dad last year. Yet high announcement amount. When you end this in penny for baby, fine. But along the line, no, we know the role you play for Asase FM. Or Asase Radio. If you don't know, I'm telling you today. And we know the role I will play for the certain government. So outgoing government, administration, we know the role we play more boko in the Upper East region. So my brother, say in that your small corner. Don't come and advise anyone in this country. Say you hunwa A, you hunwa B. We know the deals that are more here. You think we don't know? You think Owula Mangote, you think we don't know? We know everything. But me, I'm not ready to go into the gutters with you. Please, respect yourself and I also respect you. Take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. Obia ni majuma, obia wona woni womo de wakotara boko say ejuma. But I'm telling you today, we have won in all the Kusag areas in the Upper East region. Being Garu, be Timpani, be Pusiga, Zebila, Binduri, and Boko Central. Stay away and stop writing those articles. Me nikwa mpese behu. And nonsense to me. I don't even want to see it. Stop sharing and stop asking people to share. Stop it. You can't be an NDC man and be fighting the last of Bovrelati. Useless caricature. Where are you from? Who born dog for such a useless caricature to be fighting Bovrelati and co on platforms? You think we don't know, sir, you are flirting with the MPBs? You think we don't know the role you are playing for Assassin Radio? You think we don't know who sent you to Bako? You think we don't know? I've warned you. Take it or leave it. Ebi munuma ebi tafre. Me say ebi numa ebi tafre. We know those. Yeah, dan pare. And ejo wodi omo eye. Akwanya sorry ba. So I don't want to mention names because there are some people I may want respect my woman. Me are very matured in this profession. Ultimate na baby and cancer phone family. Me, I'm not the type you can bribe. Take it or leave it. That part in office me kwaya you. Me na kasa several times. Me mu so onye papa na me jana chiridi. That man. And today, will be lobby so per IGP. Now you have some people within NDC. And they have started writing evil things about a Yehunu. I'm not championing for Yehunu to be the IGP. But he's a good man. I know Garba too is a good man. I know we have competent men and women in the police hierarchy, the top hierarchy. It is only Dampare who sees himself say, apart from Onono, Obi anyhow competent, you bet my IGP. Such a useless caricature. Can you imagine? Useless man like Dampare, the wire Ghana Police Service. Yeah, Piero Senior Timmy Kasa Ghana. A teki ye ma ye wa kukudro and the Timmy face you. And today, if you say, Ubenya way, and no another kwa Abuja or Oban, or the presidential jet in the coy, or by one Cushiano. I feel some of us will sit down. The way we see us say Ghana Police Service, and sometimes I'm a focus. I am home the John Mahama I know. When you do you don't sit in Boko and be writing articles telling John Mahama, I mean, will be say we qualify now, we qualify. We are useless man. Stay in that your small corner in Boko. We will amangote. I'm warning you today. And stop mentioning names. This is a warning to you. Stop mentioning names. The Ula Mango Ted now way back in 2013, 14, 15, 16. And you only Ula Mango Ted. I'm sending a warning to you. Take it or leave it. Stop mentioning names. Say now when you be nani panu say we obi obetimi aboa wode wasi baby ye. Na obi an say obi atwetwe ho a. How can you fight Bevrolati? If you are true NDC, you are true Keda. Sa revelation we no ewu wo mo bepa. Me sitting here cannot fight Bevrolati. No. Cannot fight Honorable Julius Debra. No. Cannot fight Dr. Kalisus. No. Cannot fight Yamame Valerie Soya. No. Cannot fight Sandobe. It's my brother. Or Manebo Ama Enko. Me we baby when this man you be kwa mami. Cannot fight John Mahama. Me Mugabe me why am na message say to John Mahama. I love you more be say for we IGP and for we IGP. We fiti and we fiti. Obey steady massa. Baby akoma na ekwo no. Obey steady. No need. Those who qualified will be there. Dan pare have enough. Obi ani ho appointing authority John Mahama we supreme leader. One know the appointing authority. Science na ma start circulate and away by interior, way by defense. Stop the nonsense. Stop it. Over the weekend, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President, utumi ebo apro na utumi ekwasra nyankopon eda nyame ase one ne hoka ne ye maame eye Lodina. Man was a Stuttgart the ref here. Abranti we bra wa bre pa. Make I say 2004 ne yakọ Olympic Games ewo Athens. Na ne ka na satam na ye Ford bibi na kai saloon kai de free we the free sunwane a watwia ne kobi mu de age o mani osunwane saa ne alaje mu ne de kai bedu sunwan ye ba bedu Kumasi ye trema ye bedu konongwachi obi anata front tire pai kakran atensi kwa yama evise wi ko dundum light wo safo mafo ne ban redo office yama evise wi ekwa afedi nya ticket ni akọ Jesus Christ Stuttgart na me bompa ye bia se sunwan wesefo nyamintim na munya komapa na mutuma mini ebia no aba be deputy sports minister na sports minister ko nim sports we kwa me call obi man sugar kwa me call up me Mugabe call up hey ye can end this and me will say in end this I'm telling you today me wo power abo papa ne abranya mo kwa so no so mo power na me MPP ni nkyere me baby o hu me no office me ba be jiska won office me ba je bribe me nya o ma hene mo ne sa ankofo no ye de mo toto board so kwa me sifa kam no na me sro mu tena me bo mu din direct ma wo omu ye so man direction for na power changes from the lie some boy wura dube flash side house na hu say me front left na sifa kan so ne o ma hene mo furu bi mesi o mo operations ne ha se dada o sankofo ni nyina na wana mra ne obi medi ensibiem 2016 na ne yani ehu ade na de yani abie and I will make sure say sankofo ni nyina no said ye na na do dini 8 years amemasi Jubilee House order no I will make sure say sifa kan o mahene mamo tan ni o ba bia mo no ho sa na mu be hu amamu hwe your mama appointment kura dwuma we menya munti meba once a week kura meba very well ye tie your mama call aye asori koda nyame ase Stuttgart aba wo fia na woni hopes na me o mo be di nkomo na wo hwe na ho aye fia wunya nko parliament kura na wa shefita kama ene trainers insu de wonti menya ahye de obi a wo sports ni si utuye mani honorable prince was aje kumo hwe o Massachusetts o United States of America ye chia munyina we MPP ni pa nso ye ni papa ntimechia woni napo opo national ne yetena munyina mo hwe me live mechia munyina manshamo so ye chia jo mama kwa so ye hwe de ko so ewo
cried unto God and brought my supplications to the Almighty, and he responded with bountiful blessings and success. And for that, I give him thanks. This victory can only be divine. God assured me in my heart, and I knew. He spoke to me and said that he will bless me with success in this election. But I did not know that the blessing was going to be so bountiful and that the victory was going to be so massive and so dramatic that I give him all the thanks and blessing for what he has done, not only for me, but for the whole of Ghana. This has been a very grueling campaign, and there were times when the spirit was willing, but the flesh was weak. There were mornings when getting out of bed was quite a struggle because we had just come back from campaigning at about 3 a.m. and by 8 a.m. they were asking you to get up and hit the road again. And yet, when I managed to get out of bed and stood under the shower, it was as if God was washing all the fatigue away. I stepped out of the shower and God had given me a renewed energy for that day, to start that day. I pray that God gives me a sense of discernment and wisdom to choose the right people to work in the best interest of the people of Ghana. God's favor is still on our dear country, Ghana, and I know he will not forsake us.
All things are working for my good. Yeah, 'cause he's intentional, never failing. I know that all things are working for for my good. Yeah.
Well, that was His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Nra Okosum Eye Nyame Ewo Eye Assemblies of God. Sorry. Now His Excellency John Dramani Mahama advise NDC Manigan of Winina said yes 2 MPP no to me to any political party be and one say the way be ano ube put Ghana first. Na what to me aye jume ye no catch and say one day and appointees no will be a o sike se oba be serve e wona na memum bia no e wo se wo manya misuru ewura mu na wo ye adwuma ne yie said e be ya wo be serve the interests of the good people of this country. John Mahama.
Just as our colleagues in the MPP might be feeling very pained by their loss, it should serve as a lesson to those of us coming into government that the same stick that Techi has been beating with, Ghanaian people are deserving it for back. So I've been receiving knocks on my door, receiving text messages, people who are considering themselves for various positions, and I just want to warn them, it's not going to be a walk in the park. If you're not prepared to work and serve the people of Ghana diligently and modestly and with humility, then don't come. Just stay where you are. My political journey has been a divine one, and I believe that it's God who has guided my step each way until now, from being a member of Parliament to being a deputy minister, to being a minister, to being a vice president, to being a president. At each step, I have doubted whether it was the path that I wanted to carry on. But God has gently continued to push me and show me in the direction that He wants me to go. And I know that it's Him who has put me for a time like this to do His work for Ghana and for Him. Sometimes it has been happiness, and today we're dressed in all white, we're all happy. But sometimes it has been sadness, it has been very lonely. And I remember a time when I had won the election in 2012, and I went to visit President Kufuor, and it was surprising how quiet his house was, and how quiet the entrance to his house was. And I was transported back to when he was president. Anytime I was going to Parliament, I lived in East Legon. There was a huge crowd in the frontage of his house next to Villaju. You people know that place. And anytime it was Christmas or the Muslim feast of Salah, you see white sheep and cows tied outside his house being brought to him as gifts. And so this time when I came, it was very quiet. He had just a few policemen at the entrance, his loyal policemen who had been assigned to him by the state. And so
that was His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President-elect, Republic of Ghana. Now, His Excellency, nyawon kwa audi you, me mitiwe, me kwa minyi ubiye. Efiri na nsane ne me fie mesore na nipa ye fie no animoma. Uma omo hwehwe me, uma omo mfre me, na afi no mafre mo gama ba pawei, ene ye hwe na me say, enya afi ama we ne pawei. Ena one me ba be ye fan. Woni metena yi a me no betena yi, woni me di ni yi a me no be di ni yi. Wo ma o ma di machi a support me wo mu tuo mu court mu me ko na me ba. The lawyer ones no enya dia medani machi ahwe mu da biara da. Ba mo amada ne mo se o power change ya o Mugabe si oni power bi forget no. Enya fe na be frame me. 8 years no won frame me, stop calling. 8 years ni medidi, your mama wadidi. Na ohwe ne nsema oka eye futuo di mo bia. Emre ye ni nkaso. So when you power, make good use of the power. Ne bu ani pa fa ni pesisi ye. Said the hekano. We see few people are omo ben no busuafo na adofo bi. Look at Honorable Jilo Zebra. Awiamu, Insumu, Dr. Callistus, Professor Joshua Alabi, the Yenua Sandogbe. Look at Yemami Valerie. Me bia no mo di joma mechi. Aba. say Yankopon Obwadi Obwano. And the third gentleman of the land, Right Honorable Aban Babin, Speaker of Parliament. And they was our friend, Rashabi Jafoni in 275 when you say Mombra. Why you won you, Obra? Na yenye government business. And then they womo mawi, and the napu worry. And you must say, Honorable worry, Honorable worry, Honorable, I'm trying to near the person, Honorable worry. Lumutini, Mahaman ni, GM ni, Honorable worry, Honorable one worry. And the MP before we are parliamentary, which Honorable worry. Which any Omo Makanyina, Honorable worry, Sa no mudi do muchi. Any Eslaosu, Honorable worry, Sa Nenena Parliament Ede. Speaker of Parliament, Etime Edene message Ede my Excellency, John Dramani Mahama, President elect, Yetini Speaker Kai.
Honorable members, it is with a deep sense of duty and gratitude that I warmly welcome you to the grand arena of the Accra International Conference Center to commence the sittings of the 7th meeting of the 4th session of the 8th Parliament of the 4th Republic of Ghana. Considering how stressful the election season has been, many of you would have loved to spend some time with your friends and families and to recuperate and de-stress. Unfortunately, you did not get that luxury. I am glad it has not been lost on you that this House stands at a critical juncture in our nation's parliamentary history. And so you have responded to the notice of summons to attend this national call beyond the expectations of our people. I appreciate all of you for the acceptance of my call to reconvene Parliament today. I want to take advantage of this opportunity to congratulate the people of Ghana, particularly the voters, for the exceptional display of maturity in the exercise of the right of choice as to who should lead our nation in the next government. The peaceful manner in which Ghanaians participated in this pivotal process is a clear affirmation of our collective resolve to uphold, protect, and entrench democratic culture in the governance of our country. We have learned some lessons in the aftermath of voting, and I'm hopeful steps will be taken to remedy the defects in the electoral system and the process, particularly of collation. Despite these drawbacks, the spirit of cooperation and respect exhibited by a majority of the voters and political leaders reflect the resilience and maturity of our democracy. Let us acknowledge, appreciate, and celebrate this achievement and use it as a solid foundation stone for continuous dialogue and collaboration as we work together to build the Ghana we want. To some of you, honorable members, this meeting may be the last moment of service within the corridors of Parliament, but certainly not the end of your political service or end of life. You never know what life holds in store for you. I encourage you to soldier on. Who knows, you may be, in the near future, you may join the group of members of Parliament referred to in this House as we shall return. Kindly take heart and remain hopeful of the future. Having said this, on behalf of the Parliament of Ghana, I extend our hearty congratulations to the President of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Aban Babin Ena Mote Nkano, say Eja Onoso Edenedie Emano. Yeti ne Okafa Eye Nana Adonso, Enibaumia.
The Parliament of Ghana, I extend our hearty congratulations to the President of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, for his leadership in the organization of the general elections, and the Vice President for conceding defeat early enough to those the heat generated by the decided vote of the people of Ghana. I'll also, on your behalf, applaud the President-elect, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the Vice President-elect, Her Excellency Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ajiman, for scoring an emphatic victory and a heavy mandate of Ghanaians at the just ended general elections. I need not remind anyone of the saying, to whom much is given, much is expected. Your promise to reset Ghana has been massively endorsed by the voters, and you cannot afford to disappoint them. I trust Parliament will be a reliable partner and a gatekeeper to ensure a just delivery of that promise. Many opportunities have been unleashed and many more myths broken by this victory. But I'm very, very happy that we did not just pass the law on gender for nothing. It has already shown some fruits. Her Excellency's ascendancy to the position of the Vice President of this nation has not just opened the door, it has opened doors. And I'm happy with her promise that she's going to keep the doors open for many more to take advantage of and to improve the living standard of our people. Ghana's democracy is the ultimate winner of these elections. We are definitely on the right course. I want to encourage all to continue in that right direction.
Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Aban Babin Enamote Nkano, NDC National Organizer Union Joseph Yamin Ewa Santemantemu, MPP for Akromfui, any amount for fertilizer dear Gumuku full suni woman no bias no more the fertilizer na kogu warehouse will be a any goa essay. Na Mukubura who you prefira you fira. I must say, Amika said, and you taking control of everything. Said the Mekatro say, Operation Recover All Loot. No, you started that by on the quiet note. Yenye gidi be a buyer, Naja Apostle. Or so be Jim, no Jim Moboko or Nico. You already see Okumase.
Yeah. Look at the rooms. Oh, what kind of wickedness is this?
The captain said the whole day number how. Now we got to number.
Hey! Oh!
We just go for Bolgan.
Let me go here.
If you are me and Abu Rahono, National Organizer, Oni Mustafa Bandi, Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Omombi Nuna Yesa Operation, to our Yama Ecoso, Yenti and Neno, Neti and Ecoso El.
Oh, this is wicked. A house full of fertilizer. Abandoned our house. We are going to seize the house and give it to our boys. Over 5,000 bags of fertilizer MPP.
Hey! Honorable Joseph Yame any Yenua Mustafa Bandi and a nam one Funya United fertilizers about 5,000 bucks. Ye bit media mako for baby and Omedia Kogu a year warehouse a year a Santaman Temu. It is a city you might take control of a year everything. Will be few and Yadani Fino warehouse. It is a city Fino. A baby dear ho, Mustafa Bandi said the Bama boys no. Said a year take control of everything. To whom say a boba and Framane Boba see we suju we when you no up a baby do tear then afa AK-47 is a what to any juma and bra enu bedi when I saw ye brigadier general Pokukura Woboa we here any ye ke telephone one phone na no monya study wo baby aviation 132 excavators ya take control bibia ni wa ebesi to funya wo hwe nyina no obi fie ni say yanwe eye Pablo yenua opambo ono so waka bibi kakra opambo aka bibi kakra yenti opambo nso ene sema odi atudwa
ye brother na do scanner by Mr. Wukwa 7 January sawukwa Mr. Katibia sikani de onyame de ayensi de gina brade ne mo Ghana ha opambo me na me gina brade na mo me ni asofo de nim nyasa no ye gina brade ne mo Ghana ha pomo de ha na ya account my onyame sikabia ya bia ya can't man and I said wako. Yes. Ya can't man. Because ultimate president be ultimate MP be vice president continue be chief executive ultimate be ukro bring do beti mani. Na asame master no team e be. Enti aban bi bia position bia ultimate ye be.
Today je was opambo prophet one was ye na ye fans like say fama ya aboafo power specialist about hospital Safari Valley Eco Resort sanso na muzo ba clinic ye da munyina say Hebron Hills International School mimi de enimu ye no omo ye Christmas ye fanfare intishano so no nkron pepepe awofo na mode mama eco sanso na like say nkoma S natural mineral water omo nyina ta echi a omo eboae ewo dwume die no mu na bibianso eguso kama yenua Stuttgart MP elect ewo Brekum West mama na kwa ba na fe ye na ye ho emra bro congratulations bibia boko de ya breo
unia
initial 2004 kwa say 20 years ago
20 years
it was 2004
ya
bre ye tu kwan ne eko ne eba ne eko ye commentary sa ma ye du ba bia ne ni nyina fam aso nyame aye bi
yankopon ba bi how far
oba be di eye Brekum Force Brekum West many aji I'm so proud
thank you very much
thank you what say ni monyam Ebre na anyekwa
adwuma no biye ba ku free ha to constituency na
tese abra na me Holland they also was Scotland ultimate free one aba no abesra and even when my father died I was surprised say who drive all the way to the village to make sure say ye ni bibia betra ase dia na metumi aye dia abua I'm proud of you. I'm sure be
20 years journey nya de kitu. Afena ye be ye adwuma.
Fantastic. You see much o.
Ye fast dem anya.
You see much enye mofrasa ye ho na efe. As we share Kevin Asante abeka say oye young man. Wenyini ne ho na efe. Buguna to smile. Rafu say you nso wenyini ne ho na efe. Amofie nyina abofra bi enim obi enyini. Ye na ye ho mra ye ba hosinadoye any near Stuttgart. You see, Brekum was for sitting I am BPDS wakwaji wa win when you are 62% and I'm but say angels like angels in the catcher of
angels no kind.
So befa
62.
Thank you.
Efa 64 polling stations out of 69.
64 polling. Oh, we need 64 polling
out of 69.
Na Gab ne da saying.
Gab no obiti 947
votes.
From 2016 everybody na Gab no so pa.
And watch him
close to bedu 947 2020.
And what the amano.
Na mo chat 947 na mama 5200 Gab.
We are champion what you so as we dey.
Uko As I say, they intent useful.
Yada wa say I ba host na do any near Stuttgart. I know mobile man can be din come on area. I'll be right back.
internal collation of the election results indicate that former President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, has won the presidential election decisively.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have the singular honor as the returning officer of the 2024 presidential election to declare His Excellency John Dramani Mahama as the winner of the 2024 presidential election and the president-elect of the Republic of Ghana.
The victory is for all of us. I wish blessings on our country. I wish blessings on our children, those who are here and those yet to be born.
And let me begin again by thanking the Almighty God, the creator of heaven and earth, for protecting and preserving us through this whole campaign period. And to paraphrase the psalmist, I also give thanks to God for preparing a table before me in the presence of my enemies.
Come back from the commercial break live on TV as well as and also on Power 97.9 FM and all our affiliate stations across the country. Mubeti Yenua Senadoye Enka, Director of for Special Duties at the Movement for Change. Umunya 33,000. Alanchina Mati unya 33,000. But the polling agents ni ejume ye papa, especially in Eastern and in Ashanti region. Well, Mami welcome in Stuttgart back to the studio na feno. Yemfa and command and shall say hopes in Swaba be doing so ebe joining discussions very soon. Stuttgart Msama kwa baby.
Oga mejo so
fantastic. Well, victory is a call here and send a start here and say ne baby enyame de wa ba bedui. Mse adofo bebre wa obeda o Maase na wa bo mamba so ewo akwanya the good people of Brekum West. Omodi amount say kosevo media meka che wan say som na wo kwa akosum mo nyo mo na eba besum ho tidi wo akoma pe no bo homo de say obetumi abo awura parliament wo no obe lobby obenya obeye connected everywhere edu de den a nyina ebe wuram ye beboa na impuntu ntimi nko message a wode ma omo a omo gina so de to aba ede ma wo no 24-hour economy no women banking ne ne keka ho nyina ma bi Brekum West said a beatum for anybody. Some Makwaba, send a feeling is it here will become.
Gabi, I got a feeling here deep.
Fantastic.
Very, very deep.
Fantastic.
Na the Anije wa hone say o share Brekum Wester. O far from Brekum left kwanda kwa Kodoma route. Me constituency.
Fantastic.
O far middle kwa kusidrobo ye share bandru ho. Da udru adoma ofa wonsa left nso a ewo nkuro no bi wo ho to ba bia ebisa asemo nkuro no nyina ka bom ye 21 na Mugabe enije sem ne se ba bia ye share boundary ewo doma amomaso eba benkasa ba nanesu ya no be sin sapo eba ebe pjam dede fa adom to ba bi ebisa ase kantanka kuraso eba amankukwa na yaba domfete ebi aba jenejene atwaso fetenta wantukwa jenejene district capital
ye fitu obodom ye kaka
jenejene district capital na Muga jenejene is such a huge place. Good. 6 electoral areas, 22 polling stations.
Wow.
11,000 votes and a jenejene and of fetenta mantukwa puruso ko botokrum konchenchemum anyimum ye Dr. Farijan Krum ndiye Dr. Farijan ju free constituency
right?
Oh yes, jene to anyimum ye just 3 kilometers enti san kuro we nyina Mugabe aseda ye de bema ye nananom ne mabu ne wo san kuro ni nyina so adwuma sona omoye wo nkuro no so ema menwe ne enkuro ni nyina enti constituency no every single town me fire 69 polling stations me fire 64 and yenya margin of 5,218, constituting 60%.
Wow.
62% of the vote. My incumbent MP just 38. It's an overwhelming victory. Now, Muga, one key stakeholder mean to me in film media. Said it many among central for
as a media man.
Chidom a boama ye Jumadin propagating message nationwide.
Someone more sports presenters and I'm more you too. One Fredachi. Fredachi Kesben and I went to Fredachi the worry honorable worry. Young gone.
And caught time so football administrator back on so Ramsey the no
one's worry. It is presenters are going. I want sports presenters are going. I want to win.
Yankupon Majumadea,
what the wedding
will be a central for a year.
You deserve it.
Madame Maase, quite strong Koso. Now, Madam constituency executives are say at the council of elders, a branch executives. Now, Muga, another group of people more human mrekura volunteers. Enkrubia wa amrantie be 50, 60, 70 no mo abo mo no say omo ye campaign ye be t-shirt akoye campaign on the day of election. Some volunteers no nam afiemu one after the other.
Get to
free amanfo babia get to street babia. Omo to abawie no mu nyina san ko gina eye polling station e bo ban na coalition center am hu dwiri me ye koye ye coalition. Ye free a coalition aba main coalition center no na ya hwani awie but ye bedru ho anacho be 11 dome gu ho more than be 10,000 after street ni nyina asarande ye coalition center ho se omonso behwe aboban enti adwuma Brikun West mabunu eye na fi edema me no ade a because eye dutwam na de kireme na waka ho asem no say President Mahama aka to whom much is given much is expected sa when kese we ya omodi amaye no
landslide
ya dia de DPF say adwuma wo ho a ye ba be ye wo adwuma so no ye ba be ye and with your support ye be som aboa ama Brikun West so afa na ntuma po afura
very well victory na ye won na say na
that means me dim kunim bat man expect say men weni nkuru no nyina so
because ni ma de o say eboro na adwene ne
victory no ye hu ni say nkuru no nyina enti it tells you say adwuma no so enye session bi na ye say ye support every town I work constituency no every community cut across. Traditionally Jinejine has been very difficult place for NDC. From 92 by to me to Abana, all the pollings into me when what? But 22 are me for 18.
22, no?
Janjin Kwana 18 polling stations. Out of 22.
Out of 22.
With a margin of over 700. Janjin Kwana. 80 afi abatuona of course will Brikun West. Like I say, a batua Brikun West for no a demonstrating some open puntu. Na Mugabe youth no omo one concern. The unemployment in Noma to Chenya. Do you know, say, the whole of Brikun West, it was 6 Division 2 clubs, and I was 6. But the only one field, playing fielder, or Mutumisi Akai. 80 Brikun West teams no more Division 2 league matches will see at from Jene one on Abuko Jenim Boaten. 16 years in Parliament.
What me more baby
one field enti teams no be sia kan wo nsua tre e faka 30 kilometers eno be sia kan because Brekum Golden City Park no Chelsea any other division 1 club say you sunti untumi na Kwame Chelsea so nsua tre ena teams no be sia kan enti the prospect say Yewura Mahama ebai na Congratulatory Stuttgart men so my sports administrator sports journalist na ma shebo se ye beboa
why lecturers now ye lecturer e wo aye Sunyani
Technical University
fantastic ya no aka say ba satam ye ba before say be call Space FM na one before say ye be ba Space FM one ye campus ni
ba campus na ye chira di wi na
na bibi o kwan so na je na ti ne di kan mo fa ni say
Muga
Friday sugar ni
Muga service time na do so e ba be som na menim say Yankopon tiasi Ewura Mahama tie konwa so a masoma memra hye badwami Bekum West by next year ye division 2 clubs on me bompa ye say omomba nsu ya tribute me benya playing field e wo Bekum West omo besi akan yetumi akoye nim.
Well, baby a Ghana sports as ya kodwe we just say mumu bi kopi mu parliament no in sports o share a year from a year the juvenile side under 17 under 20 nyina no intimi nko baby a the Black Meteors ya nyina me no mi no yedi o machi way back in 2004 ewo Athens ewo a year Greece na o share baby a yekodu ye the last of Stephen Apia Yusuf Chiefs and money mo Steven Odu mo Dombotemu ene woman no mo team no at that time. Now ba bere say ye call is it 2001 2002 Argentina a year Montari mo and also itimi call ye nim kakra every wo be nyina no in 2009 and a present a year Messi ba you know itimi boy homoden itimi call a year Egypt under 20 a year Black Satellite for the day any ajiman bedumu etimi Samuel Nkumu ntimi kwaje trophy the Ghana if you will be seen there
and I to me qualify for South Africa 2010
yeah
could do quarter final first African country
Suarez na near Samoa Jandi wa yantimi anko enim we football ni be ase yakwa akodu no we are sure say this administration the incoming administration excellency John Dramani Mahama nimmu bia mokoye mrase bedwafo no ubetimi ama sports no say ye ka AFCON na Ghana pa the last time I did AFCON was 1982 ye kwa no e bia fe ni awoye susa ne be sin ni intimi trophy bia qualifications so kwa ho de man we have World Cup qualifiers I mean ahead of us
we are sure match Moga President Mahama odimso no ankasa ye passionate sportsman and the Niji sports who ye enti ne nhihye ya odi agu akwan mu ne yenso ye nimde ne ye moa ye de beboa na ban no megidi se sports no ebefa ne ntuma pa afra enkanka ye football no amoga ohwa how kese a ama ye football no ntumi nkwa anim kese e lack of investment fund na ekwo ye football mu se ye bo league ye ne single sponsor do beden edwe yabo ama sports no football na atumi agina said ye peno nti with President Mahama minim se enoma ebesesa o hwe ne policy under sports especially sports for socio-economic development odin hihye ya ba yenim se from January obetena konwa so allocation of funds budgetary allocation to Ministry of Youth and Sports no emu be paja ama sika akọ eho eno danchan a yewura John Mahama nhihye ne se ye be drive private sector na ma omudi sika be hye sports no muga how eno an se multinationals big companies corporations ne ade ye be more tax breaks tax discount ne ade na we investing in sports nti company bi apes we investing in sports no between tax discount
with your experience and your connections in Scotland in
exactly
UK,
so we bring a lot of investors into the sports sikako sports ho na infrastructure ye putu ni here I think say no ma besesa obeka ya the last 8 years President Mahama and President Mills betna konwa so te say ye football study ahudwe bi wo ho a yentumi nsi akan wo
yes enye
FIFA standard the last 8 years between 2009 and 2017 na yetumi bo Cape Coast ye bo Black Stars Tamale e bo Kumasi bo Nkran e bo Takoradi esipon ba bia but na nsen nyenya nkopon a nka ye last of concrete yentumi am Ghana just one place per year penno lack of renovation investment. AstroTurf no muga another conversation for another day. AstroTurf ahodoa
maintain national stadium
set bebree MBT standard etimidibo league matches. Bebree MBT standard. 80 infrastructure development investment in sports no a key on the agenda of President Mahama. Na Oka World Cup ho asem. Ono ankasa ka ho asem. Canada, United States, Mexico. Match ya 2 matches so. And that is very crucial. Obekaya te said na ye kan 2009. About 3 matches. 2009 Professor Mills take you over no. O make sure say remaining qualifiers are na that time ashase no. Yes, ni nyina de ko South Africa. Yeah. President Mahama take you over 2012 or January 2013. Ono nso make sure say remaining matches na ko Brazil 2014. Yeah. But ye free power 2017 6 January no. Matches ana ya bo aduru nyina no. And the Neil and Tears Minister of Free ho near there you be take you over no. Ni nyina ko ye basa ye ntumi anko Russia. Say President Mahama ba matches no ya bo 4 matches. President Mahama ebe kisho say ye remaining matches are can beginning from a year match ya until the first 90 days no big task a double header ye be born in match no be make sure exactly
experience ones no
and going forward no it was strategy ye be build a very strong Black Stars.
Fantastic.
Black Stars when some side e betumi aboa not only say be qualify but by the time I be 2026 World Cup no Mugabe hu team Nyankopon ya adoma na Ghana abuild.
Very well, in your Ghana Motino live on TV as was that no so on Power 97.9 FM and affiliate stations Asia Ghana baby Munina FM in all the 16 regions across the country, north, south, east and west baby TV as was that na Power 97.9 FM. Na yemia Solomon K Azumian uye UAE chapter chairman Edema NDC ewo UAE United Arab Emirates and wawoda. So happy birthday to you, my good brother Solomon K Azumian, UAE chapter chairman Edema NDC. Very well, you move me is a big Joe any executives na mo nyina so obia ho ene enwumre 24-hour economy any sema His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ni 120 days or DSC was say when obey no would you say feasible
feasible. President Mahama experienced politician what now say tried and tested baby many a ho kese a constituencies a hodo ye bo apro koye nipa dodo no mo interact ka ho asem taxes a okaso obi ye free so for draconian taxes or bonus taxes also obi ye free nko bi beka say President Mahama samre ohia sika o de ba be rane enoma adenti na oyi taxes free ho ye ka tax asema to a ye tua ma oman no esese eye to a enkoye hwenemunwi de edikan esese eye to a nipa etua eye progressive ebeboa ama oman no economy etumpon na mom to a akoye se asotwe to a akoye se etwe oman no empuntuo esen echi no enye to papa enti one first quarter President Mahama akaso obeyi COVID levy free ho levy free ho 10% on betting tax any emission tax at a completely feasible. In fact, yo President Mahama before election after this overwhelming mandate we was saying yakan and amadika yakan no obeka say bia obehia sikanti wanya power awie no but idea very very important. Boga minim mrantia omo anwene beta na da so do mobile phones so mo twen akosi se President Mahama ebe yi tax na free so when is scanning na beto account na o withdraw na ya 10%. The party or train President Mahama a tax what deposit at the bank or the asset treasury bill or the air train completely feasible. President Mahama economy 24-hour they air bay also within the first quarter 90 days 120 days or baba share a legal framework I say a drafted I am ready ababe to home ama baba yemra aboa ama economy no atumi etumpo wenya de a eden ade a megidi se wenya aka no obeye enti enuoma a wabobọ so the first 91-20 days no ye enuoma a eye game changers ebeboa ma oman no yetumi akoyanim na yetumi etumpo nti I trust very well so mampanyini ede osie beyoyo was enuoma we nyina.
Very well. Now, young koye nim na fe yenhwe ensema wodo eto aso. We transitional team no mujumedie no senior AC corner sen ene osi hu no ene hu last minute appointment ya ekoso promotions ene ade recruitment ene ade ekoso a saying ene osi hu no.
Quite unfortunate. O hwe
the
what the dikan transition team kwanya mampanyini Nanado Danko Akufuado ema inauguration course on tem a transition shas ye adwuma no highly commendable adwuma no shas ye said enkuta no hodie ekono information a eba abonten ne se dwumadie no ekoso na mmom said wubusa no ade a ha adwene ne se yato aba awie 7 December na sabrei ena aban no last minute recruitment afei na aban no last minute promotions ni ade yenka se obi a due for promotion a mayem promote na mom aho prepare because governance is in continuum aban no eto aso nti nuoma wo ye na aban foforo no ba obetumi aye nti e just 3 weeks to hand over die nti no mo ntwen na aban foforo no ba ono nso ato aso aye de mo ye they say obete na fe no mo be last minute payment ni ade award last minute contracts ni ade
mo ye bi wo as we speak omo ye bi okoboy oye bi ena SIC maami e fe ne se holist ansu eye bi e wo SIC ho de etete ne se asante be die to girlfriend no onye steady e wo ho de etete ne se other institutions Ghana Gas mo payment bi ni ECG checks almost in sans any ade no obia enye very careful as okay so safuma for can asem
muga Ghana ni bia ye fa na adwuma ye but and this nso ba no nso be fa safo na adwuma ye
so safuma for ka kire se adwuma bia ni bia onye bi man ma tini man so mo NC eye existence no mo certain paper mo hand it over no ko mo nyina mo bako
enti the yes re ne say in the spirit of transparency, in the spirit of accountability, omo enye transparent to the incoming government. Na munko overburden. Sahara President Kufuor be free aban mo be kaya single spine money no money and na omo de do mana be she government na oba no kon.
Because enra say omo mo fire service enra no more report here. New recruiting enra. No, we want Ghanaians to know what is going on. And the wow regions do ankwanta.
Yeah.
Hona
prison for
no
fire for. Yeah.
Wo dem be say me yi we na boa discussion ma me no mienu nyina. Yenti osafo mafo in 2017 abra power exchange yen. Yenti ni nsema odi tudwa efa appointment.
Every department and every sector institution in this country. So if I'm appointed a new minister and your payroll, you are not on the payroll till December, the day of the election, and you're going to appear on the payroll for January, when were you engaged in that particular thing? You are going to create a problem. If names appear on the payroll after December, we definitely will lay them off quietly.
Very well. To where come now? That was in 2017.
It's a foundation our lady at home.
Foundation
our lady at home. Say Sambri yato abawi ban besisa no
SIC na way promotions.
And I make say if we be a do for next government to me promote, why are you in a hurry?
At this time
because I buy etoaso nti se waban no free so en chese governance no edi ho aban fufuro dipa fufuro na ebetoaso nti these things are very disappointing, but I think say transition team no from His Excellency side already these concerns, and we expect say sitting government to be respect these protocols now. Transition pepe because say as a December only payroll
December 6 the day before the elections.
It says obi only payroll so as at 6 December no. Yeah, by January.
Yes,
but also be say early quietly. Also when they kromo
nya. Ralph and Peter mo fancy so mami bi.
Emphatic of revoking all appointments and employment paid after the December 7 elections by the NDC government.
We have a payroll for every department and every sector, institution in this country. So if I'm appointed a new minister and your payroll, you are not on the payroll till December, the day of the election, and you're going to appear on the payroll for January, when were you engaged in that particular thing? You are going to create a problem. If names appear on the payroll after December, we definitely will lay them off quietly.
Fantastic. Where before I said to God, Beba more appoint to Moses saying, "I bet Pamubia." Me kanwa yebe pamo bia hwe owa about four kanka tantai outgoing president Akufo-Addo ne Nkufu mo bai ebusuan chefa nko anu mbe omo ye phone papa na die ti ameka se omo ye phone utumire a na wa kire se menua panyin Stuttgart wa ha die obebo amepa se manfo be kai se da be na wote state insurance company din SRC da be na wote omudi you chief executive officer or acting ewo ho na enterprise insurance na kenofori atadia no womo ba ye nyina no omagu bibibia ya insurance ye kwaje loan ye se pe insurance won ye de bibia ye state institution ye de no aban de ne sase no ye fa hwemfa obi commercial bank ye fa hwemfa obi ADB ye fa hwemfa obi NIB ye fa hwemfa obi enye enterprise insurance na eye data bank na mo kura mo hwe mo ho amode na mo yi mo fi sa de pa fata mo na yen ade pa fata yen mogu SIC last meet we within few days mo fa dipa be 250 eska be ne de betu omuka ye be pa mo nyina se de wasafo ma for kan pepe omo qualify yo mo so ye Ghana for se de wasafo ma for ka tire se ejuma bi eni ba bi awunya bi ma ne ba na wo NCA no start prepare your handing over no you are going wo a year set start prepare your handing over no tumu nyina ye be pa mo me kan plane fa Stuttgart to us.
So it is very worrying. Now said the medical can ye say sad no man at Wobitcha transition no a really concern, a really red flags about last minute appointment. We expect any promotion say government way a better respect and that transition no I very smooth. Okay.
Very well. 24-hour economy Ghana for here anymore together.
They say President Mahama can me sure say all metina kunwa so ikura wa sha se eputu tima ombe draft document ebe guide the implementation of the 24-hour economy. Good. And I believe strongly say it is going to be a game changer. And said the American can afi one of the reasons campaign no anye den amaye President Mahama campaign manifesto de baye so fantastic muga say ye catch ro say enkwara awie school me constituency uba enkwara awie school about 70-80% na namho awa pass ubusa na o say ahombo anso ye debre edi say wo president a obetena konwa so na obeboa ma nkwara ekọ first year say ye nursing training college technical university na ye beboa omo akọ first year no muntua admission fee ni ade why na mpade obi ape why na ye be create system a support ama companies both public and private sector at we operate 2-3 shifts ama enkwara tifie anya adwuma 24-hour economy na ni pa no se ompe why na beka say enkwara awie school atifi omo pese omo suansa anodwuma obi nso kra nko school ono yese opese osuansa anodwuma President Mahama say ye the national apprenticeship program eba akwara opese osuansa anodwuma ye de wato adwuma mu atu tinsa ama free ama wonfidie ne no ma de besua adwuma opon ho a yase akotua wa ho pon sika aboa wa ma wa establish enti sa messages we commitment we ya yede ma Ghana for social contract yede to ho say they are doable Muga they are doable. That is why President Mahama aka say yeah we reset Ghana no it's say for the economy to grow you need to reduce unemployment. You be reduce unemployment let's say you creating human bebree both private and public and nuntina bibi to 24-hour economy and also be increase what productivity ama oman etumi akonem
is investor confidence na say hu no
I started rising ye to abawie ya so wo hwe ye to abawie ya even that day na dollar kura so te ye 2 years 7 for na e ba form kakra investor confidence started rising into President Mahama aka say ye ba be create enabling environment e ba attract a lot of investors and investors bagana unim bottlenecks ne ade na wanko hu we ne ade ne ti ama a lot of investors they move to Cote d'Ivoire and neighboring countries ne ade
and that is
excellence Burkina Faso neighboring countries. So we believe strongly say with President Mahama no Ghana will once again will be attractive place for foreign investment
as we speak and any 3 days menya very minkophobia minimum ewo outside and for me no mo dey nkomo one side the Koreans and the other side the Japanese for and o man your visa no mo bibia o mo ba Ghana so mo ba be do on the 4th yeah o mo dey ban the 24-hour economy no o mo be so mo dey Ghana for ko Japan o mo companies o mo bibia no mo ko train Ghana for no ewo ho for 3 years na o ma back to Ghana bebie nti abra ye train sankofo nyina no mo set up mo factories ni yeden wa ha nti before say factory ne be ready no na nkofo no mo ko train wo mo no ma yeden o ma knowledge ni bibia no mo de o ma back to come and support the 24-hour economy because man we say and you know say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama on Japan for your Juma pay
Japan
yes intino no more that friendly way no I believe say idea ebeboa o man yi papa na wo hwe baby o man adria names I say pop up on social media and I like the way the quick response from the office of the president-elect Edibetu just say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama on appoint to be say on quiet defense minister na say or nominate will be intino speculations need the hu nyina no akeke nya dia no kribia yom we sure say His Excellency I mean the experience that our tried and tested we sure say or the men you be to me are turning things around Ghana to my fan to my prefer
Moga me gidi said no na ama ye hunu listed na mabonti because one thing for sure they say NDC and for that matter His Excellency John Dramani Mahama a very big headache appointing his ministers. His son is he has a lot of competent men who are ready to serve.
MPs no Dawson.
Yes, MPs no Dawson. And or what the men 80 adwuma no be gidi se be ye den ama no e no na ama amanfo na ma almost speculative but President Mahama has been very quick. What I like about President Mahama is a very principled man.
Decisive.
And we issue stern warning say wo ubenya kwanya say wo be songo na ban mu no it is not business as usual. He means business, serious business. It is obi wo ho na wa ye na dwen say position no ho adodode e wo ho nti no pese obesoma forget about it. Or people who are hungry, who are passionate to see say aban we ebe succeed Ghana for ye ho atoye. I'm very confident that President Mahama will name his cabinet, he will name his other ministers, and we will see the real men. You call Winiba, he jovially said that you know MBP because more men say na area boys na no more they don't have the men. So you see the real men, and in every sector he has tried and tested men or do a mobile be ye juma amo mine etumi etumpo nti ye nyina besre said the President Mahama akano ye nya botre tab no do na o name ni ministers or no abeba abonten. But some man for best will be between yourself to whichever capacity. So your communicator say parliament na wo koye adwuma say wo food sojo baby a akwanya wa obeye adwuma boa ama o man no atumpo no esa say we are all committed say som na ye ba be som eti baby akwanya beba say wo be som no ye gina ensom emoama o man no emfa ne ntoma pa emfira na enkoye say yamfa position amamede ne o man no ndane mutu ebegu engu debi together as one, a strong team. Unity. And said President Mahama himself has said to whom much is given, much is expected. So mandate we are Ghana for the Amaya Yeniajano. It comes with huge responsibility. Exactly. As I say, you deliver to the satisfaction of all. Because minimum people for last days no bunyina TSC moye campaign say there is the need to change because baby your minor kono say President Mahama ma o minor ebe budi chie ntumi reset enti saafo no nyina very expectant say President Mahama ebe deliver am minor for ntuma prefer
there no come our executives o mo so nyane was Brekum West
omo nyina nim maka chiro mo we are working together and Muga mamemo regional leadership abaso His Excellency Kojo Nyamachamafu,
fantastic man.
Obeye chairman in 2020 no. Na yekura only one seat. There be enti ono yanto ne so aba. Na yekura only one seat. Ahmed Honorable Ahmed Banda Nkwa. Ahmed Ibrahim.
Yeah.
Honorable MP4 Banda Aosan Deputy Minority Chief Whip. That was the only seat they
one in the whole of
Ekume
Bono region.
You were Nyamachama for the call 6 in 2020. 2024 or they call 11 out of 12. It is to say I only one seat.
And then
one. Only one.
Stuttgart.
So 12 seats, you know. You were Nyamachama for Obey chairman only one. 2020 or they call 6. Emani 6. Say was saying GMP for the 5 abeka dia hunti
kura seat be no mokra in
the only German South drobo seat the whole bono that is the only seat eti regional leadership you Kojo Nyamechama for empanyum for
fantastic man
aye adwuma den papa
why former Ghana ambassador
to Tunisia and former regional minister Bonahafo edi onim terrain no or former DC nso e wo Bonahafo hunti wa ye adwuma is a typical grassroots man with the team, secretary, indefatigable organizer, Mahamo, a very fantastic team. And various constituencies and also executives say, and Brekum West is also a debate, HSA, paying for no a year. 11-1. One,
I just say, for me, team,
11-1.
1 to 11, no players in ISA.
Be a set,
ready to play, ready to deliver.
Fire.
Thank you. Never said like I said, Mugabe Maase Clinic and ever center. Madam Roma Kahoni Edjumedi Ebrewo. Unya Mugabe Maase Nedra ya to dim medi a garlic capsules nibia. Obo boy ye papa mamoja timidi ni peduani mo frisani ye boa boosti immune system no. Ema ni peduani jirane na so brane. Bema minu ya prostate ena etete wo sexual weakness, male and female infertility, hypertension, diabetes, sciatica, typhoid, fever, malaria, stroke, any dental problems beyond finding in Mugabe Maase Clinic and Eba Center. We actually acquire our dental barrier. You need police station in Dinshe anymore. AESL building inside the Ghana Highways Authority yard. There were crab ministries. A Jiko Journey School for the Deaf in the Dinshe anymore. Kumasi, Ahinema Kokoben, so be Huyan Elho. Friend, now near Mugabe Maase Central Chunk, come on 0244 068447. 0244 068447. 447 ofra yebeje so na bibia konkan e de amount. Safari Valley Eco Resort. Safari Valley Eco Resort. Safari Sebra. Christmas ya ebe ho ena oso ko chele Christmas be poso ima ose hwa se koju ehwa na mekoje meni o ene safari we wudru wa ene wildlife experience jata sebo ya MPs amawe ni nyina mo environment we very very conducive ya obetena wa chele na wajojo ho na wasoma jo a wonti didi biadia Safari Valley Eco Resort na make am for the amawo wa ware wa ba bedu wo pe bia akwedi honeymoon wo fra Bruchiri Germany France Belgium Netherlands ana say any of the Scandinavian countries, say yes, Sweden, Finland, and say Norway, Wababidu, Denmark, would when each Safari Valley Eco Resort, when you beju ye papa, or more gem or more swimming pool, so in Yanonso or more S7 hono, local and continental dishes, or more do in the eastern region or constituency. Call them on 059 691 4394, 059 691 4394, or fresh Safaria, or more ebejo so. Power specialist about hospital semen cancer hepatitis A, B, C, D, and I be netted to a fatty liver, a sciatica, prostate, unknown penny baby na attachment, broken bones, a ulcer, and answer a compo, ninano, odicodama, or mababuao, a fibroid, minia by a so I would any be year go and one way a demo. May catch you say, obetini say te. Edi amount bibia konkan kuma se achira kwan e wo fe ya se lake bosom che kwantempo ano so ye ne just bo filling station no e na edi enhwani mu akra hanso odi woni kire nkra heya ye ne ekuruma kwa benya poku ascp kwantempo ano so wa power bus stop wa ho e na obi hu yen sanso e na odi woni ekire takrade yewo anaje estate ye be anaje MA primary school ni ye papa fenani anjojo komo 0244 544422024454442 ofrena yebejo so amuzu aba clinic on the amuzu garlic bitters e dia bedwa so na amuzu garlic bitters no wunya bi na wo boba e boa reduce high blood pressure, minimize high sugar level, support the pancreas, so na sign prevent fatigue, control urine flow, and the sign prevent nema bibria enye mani pedua no yini nyina efi ho reduce cholesterol ne ade nyina no pebi na bobo ne betumi aboa amuzu garlic bitters, the only garlic bitters in town. Yeah, FDA, Food and Drugs Authority. Wamodi omo stamp no SSU say guy. Pharmacy shop, herbal shop, be remono. Ubenya amuzu garlic bitters in biato. For Dr. Amuzu on 0247 776743. 0247 776743. Ofra yebejo so. Yes, natural mineral water in Sunu Indi Ghana for Ninaja to Menua didi Christmas and Kunimdi Abbey and Yainsu and Nuni and Zupai and net tracks bear 3 and Abbey in Suni Biagua Bra S Wazi Broadcasting 37 Abebe Street Usu Oba be home Sir Robert Dodona friend Soriba Oba Dudu Bia Upibiano Sabe to me aka ebono so from witime to be akoton obitime to be asifi brunya bei aja hoho wanya hoho enu ase me 7 ma hoho fi es natural mineral water ya ena me de 7 ma hoho usu pebisi fi nkwada anu kosuka mumubi omobe fi nsu amumubi oba es wazi broadcast na obenya bi ato Hebron Hills International School say excel and shine school papa e one media of the Nsawam Road upe school papa ama oba ko sede bia na dachi no ebetumi asini yi yago akwara ne nge ekosi mfinum enu ye Montessori ntete ye de bema oba na ne dachi ebetumi asini yi upe akwanya de ama oba lower and upper primary nso a akwanya ewo ho admission gusua ekoso space na ka no enye dodo tutumrika sede bia obetumi anya akwanya na woso oma oba ne wura Hebron Hills International School nyame ya adoma on the 21st mimi de di enimu ya no wo mo ye Christmas fanfare na oba no wako neko hesa oba no utu school fees go na utu school fees ngo chechefo ho nyina maka cho se wo wie SS afo ni nkyere ho Hebron Hills International School mo fa SS4 ho wo mo kwadare e wo Montessori ntitie mu wo mo wo eye adesua eye akyerɛkyerɛ mu ntitie mu ene ye form e wo chechefo nyina wo mani afi ne wudru wa ene French ni wo mo kyerɛ IT ene bonjour comment ça va très bien merci beaucoup wudru wa French nkodai ne brofu ye kan utimi say British standard learning materials ni bia do nkwala mo bo tennis e bo mo play wutu say wudru wa weni ebeje kwala ni so woni je ana parent bia complain say me ba ne ba ye no wakwa kopra san say home futuru bia ni ho ena dade bia ni ho ayekwa kotwa oba no Hebron Hills International School say excel and shine media of the Wood Konokopa admission at the Mount Bay. You were going in other room and a church at free 37 Abibisi Street, the heart of Accra Osu, editor in all the 16 regions across the country. In your Stuttgart and in any war studio high and Komo MP elect for a Brekum West constituency in the Bono region of the Republic of Ghana. Adese be brain every brother every free a year go so was it Muga Munia Mikani Papa Abra no bo a year Jumedi ewo a year Space FM no head of sports or no science lecturer ewo Sunyani Technical University Yamisha ni Papa Emmanuel congratulations we efe brother Nedia ono so di free a year go so ede abano wa wonia Africa Joe the Papa sports a year presenter moni CY can see why omunyina say Muga we are enjoying the show a year nua bema a year Frank Naru ono say Muga sugar de oye nia nua support bia mo bia no mo fa ma no said de be ya obetimi akwani mo say Muga papa de okọ sports wan ko beboa ye pa o na ni nyina mu no Stuttgart Eda so ewa late come aba na wono kwa enya man appointment kora no appointment ye nya man nso wasati kora ye operations ene e wo wan se Paul Adomochire mo kam na we mo kam nase ne yire maame akam ye nua ba ye obonwum we o de say gifty empress hopsin adoye hosina adoye aba na hey bidie to de eyesa wa America ya bia wontu mensa mabi na gabi mo de mo bekoba mo bebre yese ya mo bu akonta ewi ozi mo akwaba
yenua
bibia bakwa de
nyankofo adom mo nsuso
ye kwekuram
great
na juma de ne te sei afanfanto for mo shewo
bibia
amunya 33000
sa ade no asie but let me tell you something. Interrogate why NDC got 34% in Ashanti region.
Moye adwuma no sebe obetumi okumase awade chef obaya na obowura meti ase e pa
eti ye beda Ghana fo nyina ase
de gane esaka change na ba
because me paw mucho set to end this Japadian thing and they say be change government
ye hu t-shirt
maka be say change in here all opposition parties were preaching change and a change aba eyenkunimdie for all of us. We are okay,
we are happy
eti miana extremely happy, very 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 happy.
Hope sinadoye
be say we were preaching for change and a change aba senka change amba dia and yenka mi wo problem that change na aba no enso ye change a efe a chese edi Manchester studio hanga say John for me no ba go ne bedi.
Okay, you said it.
And I make I say Fourth Republic John for dia. Odo hu nhire beba o man Ghana mu. Obe hu nhira ebeba o man Ghana mu from now. I know John yire no ho kakra bia. IMF for beye rebalance amano. Amanu ma toto. John ba wa bayi. Wanya that in, the international community no
American, the
British, almost support
German,
the goodwill is there.
Japan for
any ade eti obetima ye bibi now about West Africa utimu say destination choice no say focus on Ghana
gateway ne higher
Ghana so something little ana adeba konsoso a ebe masa akoso na tim akwade say the president elect honor in terms of corruption and mismanagement
accountability
say utimi prosecute near retrieve sika woda wo ho dia ane pamo mbe pamo ndizi no ndizi MBB de be you
na me kura see MBB
me na make akiro the goodwill is there and that the citizens advocacy for you can say anti-corruption mismanagement in Adina. Don't underplay it at all. Eti will be bias say emradin a daily no. Deal with the person.
So ni momo.
Oh, ye na ye ni momo. Mugabe ye nyina ye ni momo
sa wonu ma na
na den after all and then meet you ya obehwa na ma start air drive can say Rolls Royce hey who miss a question kakra so maybe a question because obia bia na motorbike gra bia be ni bi na all of a sudden meet Rolls Royce mu a ese so timi bisa wo rent dan ye hu ya ni sa fe de trasa kwadan yi wo kita be 10
o si hwehwem
ese timi bisa wo hu ne tie no wo yes ade na
o wase kura na rent man na fe ye wo be ja aware ne ehunu se wo nyapade awo no
yes the goodwill will be there so hu ne tie no eti ye besre na we die ye be share traffic mugaka in fact parliament ani mu ya it take me more than 30 minutes to get across.
Fantastic.
Enti mo fanche me
last minute appointment no na fancy and because this week obeba last minute appointment o mo ye ne promotions no say na o si hu no
as a transition team no mo kasa what you say yes more to adwene let them know say this and then put it publicly because one year sir and they say I was monitoring parliament and they did well
very
what say look loans are mo hwehwe nyina no what they critical leave it to the incoming government to deal with it what you say yes. Wo ba ma exemptions ni ade critical leave it to the incoming government to do it don't do I mean madam Fobi name gaza was you ye obi okofaya obi ewo ye Atame street no so aduma bi shawo ana wasi afi no be man appointment and the second January obesha aduma se ana am say oje ombepa mu menye wo de tenase ho na wo pa wo mu take over me meso nsa de wakoni a
obere
meso de nsa na me na minister ben ba me kodo ho be gas won hwe me
obi abehwe o na airport de na koso
airport yesi mo obi ankroso me free ha me kwa kofa ho na
okofa ho keke
oh ma posisi and this boys in be bro ho ya chose ya bejo passport ya be embarrass you and don't go there
obi ankroso
don't go ya be embarrass you
na se Paul ko
apapo ko ada omoto abana na ko yo
to obi anko biem
no mo ko yin no mo ba ye be o tenga gra ni ahu ni edi awko ya wangra edi ade
what you say
o ko edi ade
Ghana be the oh interesting times ahead
eja o trust in sa wezi bi ani am go fi
siga fedasi no matter me do o sense so
na congratulate obi a obi aya de in fact ye ndua na o print anti-ajapade t-shirt me fa kwenye so na nana se mo ya de pa
nda ono abosedu agongo
sedu agongo ye beda mo ase onabo sese nkunimdie na aba no ese otimi ma me ye party kakra
adase
na metimi sa me free power FM4
yes
eti mo hwe ni o print t-shirt no so sese enye t-shirt o cash ye de kwako ye party
ebada mo nyina se kuma ba bia wo bia wa chimota ya chia wo de abosu ani nyina afemo gisam so ya chia wo ye de si anyumre no si aka se bo na eba MP led for Brekum was in Stuttgart as dan kano na ye nua wo ye director for special duties said movement for change ye Hussein Adoye ono so aseda enkano ne wife mame akema o dia morning tie nua ye gift empress ye ma wo shedding anyumre no si aka se bo ne to aso mamu nyina mo enitie